It's not like I want to play Imagine It or anything. Imagine if I say that and I actually like make imagine it. I say that, but the moment I read the outro, I was like, oh. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Refresh Step, where you recover yourself for the main step. I'm your host for today, tomorrow, and the foreseeable future, Theodore Lu. And I'm finally here today with the hottest battler in the UK and admin of the Battle Spirits English Wiki, Ayumu Seiki.
Hello.
Hi Ayumu, how are you doing?
I'm pretty alright.
Did you enjoy your holiday?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. You know, we are a team. We are supposed to be like a family.
Okay.
Nah, just kidding. I was like trying to roleplay as like the red flag company CEO. I was like, yep, we're a family. How cool do you be relaxing when your family is working their hardest? Yeah, I can't, man. It's I can't.
Yeah. You're too kind-hearted, sir.
Yeah, I've been a victim of that mentality, so I don't want to extend it to other people. That's a little bit too much in it. So yeah,
Fair enough.
let's not continue that to the next generation. Oh my goodness. But yeah, lots of things have changed since you have went to holiday actually, right? Standard is literally starting this weekend.
Gasp.
Are you ready?
Yeah. I mean, actually, I was already playing with Proxy today. So.
Oh, nice. I haven't cooked anything because I always have that mentality of like I want to play with the thing that I can touch. I mean like.
What do you mean by that? What the hell?
Yeah, no, I mean like, like because we are living here in Europe, so like it's not like we can get access to every single card. So like I basically just wanted to make sure that well, I mean like this just personally for me, right? So I just wanted to play cards that I actually like have, so I don't really want to make an effort to play like cards that is going to take like way too much effort, like stuff that maybe like you have to go to this event to get it, and then like now you have to get from the secondary market for like 3,000 yen per card. Then I'll just like, okay, I'll do that later when the card is reprinted maybe. But yeah, for now I will play with cards that I actually have in hand, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I mean like also because
the Aphrodite that I sold to you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Ayumu has just offloaded his ex to me. So I was like kind of like, woo, I was kind of excited because I woke up this morning. The part that I wasn't excited about was only the email that I got from the German post, because now not only I have to pay for tax for import, but also they have this thing called like the fixed fee, so that like, no matter what I receive, like even though like the value is like €0, it's like it's literally just a gift, they will still charge me like this amount of money. And then I was like, I was like, okay, I mean, like I know that's going to happen, but like at the very least now they did kind of like they let me know in advance like how much I have to pay. Like previously, like the thing about like the German post is like, the awkward thing is I have to pay the tax like directly to the delivery guy, but then they never told me like how much I needed to pay. So like, and sometimes they can deliver it like earlier or like the day after. So like, if they deliver it earlier, then that's actually like even more awkward, because like, okay, so I was like expecting this delivery to come tomorrow, so I have not withdrawn the money because I don't really like to bring cash. If possible, like I want all of my money to be digital. So I was like, okay, so you want the money now, but like I literally don't have any cash. Like if you can wait 20 minutes, then I can go to the ATM and get them for you. But like if we can, like, how do we sort this out? Like back then, like my German was really bad, so I don't know what to do. Now I can just tell them to okay, or you came way too early. I haven't prepared anything. Can you come again and 1 p.m. at 1 p.m. or something? I need to withdraw the money first. Yeah. But now at least they have some decency to at least okay, you need to pay this much to the driver. Please prepare money and give them directly to the driver. To be fair, I kind of fumbled because they do have I think it's $20 plus 52 cents. So I did not really prepare the 52 cents. So I just have to break my piggy bank and then took apart 52 pieces of 1 cent coins. Nah, just kidding. I'm as expected. I'm not that petty, but one day if I am feeling that petty, I might pay the whole tax with just 1 cent coins. Cause why the fuck not? It's a legal tender.
Yeah.
Well, although technically I think there is a legal limit in which how much of a coin that you can use in one single transaction.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, well, makes sense, but
yeah.
still, regardless, interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I was oh, okay. Yeah, I went if you pay for your grocery, which is maybe for a whole household, and then it's €105, for example, just to make it simple, and you outright just bring out a whole stack of 1 cent coins, okay, and then you just let them know, okay, so I have 10,500 1 cent coins inside this. You just have to believe me.
Right, yeah, because
Yeah.
they're gonna try to avoid scamming as well. Makes sense.
Exactly. And then what do you do in your life, and why do you need to have 10,500 1 cent coins that you are not using? Why did you not go to the bank and exchange this?
I mean, that's fair, yeah.
But there, lots of questions, too little answers. Just like our blue lizard that got more Q&A. What did the blue lizard do this week, Ayumu? I felt I woke up and you just suddenly tell me yeah, the blue lizard got new Q&A, because why the fuck not? Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, if you, I actually almost forgot about that, but wow, now they mention it. Okay. Well, actually, there are two more. Actually, no, 3 more. Yeah. So the first one is in regard to. Do you remember Tenma Kagemusha?
Oh god, yes.
Yes, it's about that one.
Okay.
So the question is, okay, so if the opponent controls the cost 4 God stacks type 0 and instead Nova's a Mirage and then you target cost 4, what happens is the opponents can activate Tenma Kagemusha with type Shadow from hand.
Oh god, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason is because when type 0 becomes a target, Nova's effect hasn't resolved yet. So you can still activate Tenma Kagemusha.
Okay.
However, if you're setting Nova as a Mirage, then type Shadow can only redirect the whole effect to itself. Well, actually, more like the portion where you target the field to itself. The part where Nova locks the hand, type Shadow cannot defend against that. So it will. So if they use Tenma Kagemusha, it becomes the case where Nova's effect would negate effects from your hand, and then type Shadow himself.
So then the cost 4 in your field can still activate for that thing.
Yes, exactly.
Unless your opponent
on the field, yeah.
Unless your opponent kind of activate Nova and choose 4 again for some reason.
Oh yeah. Well, unless they do it again, choose 4. Yeah. And then also because when you set Nova as a Mirage, because Tenma Kagemusha doesn't specify Mirage in this text, it cannot reflect the effect back to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, why is because just to explain, Tenma Kagemusha, the other effect, so the first, so either you choose to redirect the effect to type Shadow himself, or what you do is you change the text of the effect from quote unquote your opponent to quote unquote you.
Yes.
But because Nova is set to the Mirage, and Mirage cannot be affected unless the effect specifically mentions Mirage, and Type Shadow cannot do that.
I see.
However, what that means, like if you activate Nova from the field with cost 10 chaos, then you can redirect the effect back to the opponent.
Beautiful.
So that's one of the new ones. The second new one is even more is equally I guess interesting. So you know Nora Street, which is a magic card that is cost 8, and it has the effect when you have 5 counters or more, this card is treated as cost 4.
Okay.
But this card in hand is treated as cost 4. What happens when Nova targets cost 4?
Okay. Then the
sorry, no. What happens when the opponent targets cost 8? Sorry. So they use Nova's Mirage effect to target cost 8, and then what it means is that you can't even use Noah's Shoot as cost 4 because when it's in hand, its effect is being negated, and obviously that includes the effect that changes its cost.
Yes.
I think that's simple enough to understand.
Yes.
So then obviously even if they use the magic card as cost 8, you know, because when the magic card attempts to activate its effect, it's no longer part of the hand or the field. So obviously the treat as cost 4 effect doesn't activate either, because that only happens when it's in the hand.
Yep.
And so if Nova targets cost 8, then you just cannot use Nova Shoot. On the other hand, if you have targeted cost 4 with the Mirage effect of Nova, Nova Suit is forced to be treated as cost 8.
Okay.
Because what happens is, while it's in hand, obviously the original cost is 8, but it has an effect that makes it become cost 4. But when it becomes cost 4, then Nova said, nope, negate that effect, so it goes back to cost 8.
Okay.
So technically it's a loop, but because of the rules, just keep it as cost 8.
Yes.
And so you use the magic as cost 8, and then, you know, just use it as normal, because when you activate the effect, it's cost 8. And yeah. And then the last one is, to be fair, the last one is pretty obvious, but I just leave it there anyway. So, you know, while you have targeted cost 3 with the Mirage effect of Nova, the opponent cannot activate the first effect of their Mudfoot from hand, but obviously they can activate it from the trash.
Yes.
You know, when they do, you know, the part where it says during this turn the opponent cannot increase cost from the void, that can activate because it's simultaneous to summoning Mudfoot.
Okay. So
like basically, technically the way you see it is like that effect is activated before Mudfoot has landed on the field.
Okay.
But obviously after that, the when summon effect cannot activate, because by that point Mudfoot is on the field and it gets negated by Nova.
I see.
So that's kind of like the 3 new, well, not really new rules, but you know, just more clarification.
We just started. It's just 10 minutes since the recording has started, and I'm already not ready for what is coming next. Because, like, you know, as I've mentioned earlier, this weekend, standard is going to begin, and as with the standard begins, the classic battle spirit that we know and love is also going to evolve into what we are going to call the eternal format. And as with every iteration of battle spirits, like, we like to think like every trading card game has some sort of monolith, right? But like with all card games, like every few years they're going to make like some major changes. Like Yu-Gi-Oh has several master rule changes that includes how their playing field looks like because like including like how like you have like now the link zone and how the pendulum zone is being placed. Like previously, like pendulum cards have their own zones, but now it just occupies like the left and right most of your spell and trap zone. So like yeah, that's kind of like just to give a perspective of how like they do that. Like Vanguard did that every time they do rotation, pretty much.
Wait, Vanguard has rotation?
Well, it's a reboot. I mean, like every time they do reboot, they also like do
okay.
like a big update on the master rules. Like especially like yeah, that's how they included like the right text and everything. Although like yeah, now I guess like colloquially, you will think of like the master rule update as mainly for the eternal like the premium format in Vanguard. But even Battle Spirits is also not something that it's not a monolith from like the early Battle Spirits until now. Battle Spirits until now, it's we are going to approach what they call like the version 17 of the manual, the rule manual. So yeah, it is good, and it is as usual. They do like some major changes, so we are going to be talking about that mainly today. Like the lizard, the blue lizard is just the main. It's just the appetizer. We are going to go to the main dish now. Yeah, but I mean, like I will cover like the most basic one, in which yeah, like in standard we are going to have the main step 2 and mulligan. So just to clarify, the main step 2 is a standard thing. It's not going to be implemented in the eternal, but the mulligan that is going to be included in standard, and which we will probably explain further in the video that is going to come out this week. That should have come out from like October, I think. But like yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I even forgot that you were doing that. Jesus Christ.
I know, right? I was like thinking of like editing it like for the weekend, and then like okay, I got that I got the test, and I get that test, and then like now all my schedule just broke apart. And I didn't even pass the test, so I was like, oh my god, I'm double salty now. Like it breaks up my schedule, and I didn't even pass. But yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, we have mulligan now. From this Saturday, so yeah, you can start to dust off your non-contract decks and might get some more plays with it. I guess like some people are like trying to dust out their Wind Demon God decks. Because like
oh my god.
Yeah. Because
like you know what's gonna get worse? Jukuyomi and La.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course, like if you give like the aggro a chance to get their foothold on the door, then yeah, it's going to be pretty ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
I mean to be fair though, like they are like still more consistent what do you call it?
Options.
Turn 1 kill decks than like, Jukuyomi by this point. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's still gonna be interesting.
I can
see them being played, but yeah.
As an Indra player, I concur. No, not that.
True, yeah, you got Indra, which can't do that. So you might as well play Indra.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
In Vajra Worm Mitros. True. Exactly. And of course, we have the Flag Nexus, which is going to be the next contract thing, which is not really a normal Nexus, not really a Grandwalker Nexus. Functionally speaking, they are mostly a normal Nexus. It's just that they do have some effects that cannot be negated, but it's the effect that cannot be It's the effect that has the immunity, not the card itself. Like the way they write down the immunity can be a little bit confusing, but they don't have immunity. Some people cited that, I guess like the positive thing is because it's a normal Nexus, like the anti Grandwalker Nexus cards like the Path of Destruction and Redfield like doesn't affect it as much. But then it can be destroyed way easier. So we'll have to see how that plays out for like the Nexuses. But I am excited to try out Farah because I like to play white. Yeah, definitely.
Sure you do.
Sure I do. It's not like my only white deck is the Ice Princess. Definitely nothing fishy about that, right? Yeah.
I actually improved my Ice Princess deck recently because
nice.
I finally got the new cards, including Rese, and then also obviously the Ultra Manifest Premier.
Nice.
Which is like I mean, I've been playing so many games, and literally I only use like the Ultra Manifest once. And it's also like coach on coach using it, because like before I could actually play it, you not realize it's going to lose, and then it just scooped.
Perfection. And I think like the
Yeah, go on.
and I feel like the Ultra Manifest Premiere is also really good just by the virtue of like, yeah, it's way better if you Ultra Manifest it, but like if you summon it normally with either thousand turtle or like the burst, like it's already like, yeah, this is
You mean
this
like
already,
Harun or like
yeah, Harun
Agafia?
or like Agafia. Yeah, it's already like, this is already crack. I get to negate all burst wall and flashlight blade for the rest of the turn. This is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, but like to be fair, like how do I say it? Like less said is actually a really good addition in like Ice Princess. So like obviously, like the way I would see the deck now is that it still kind of like it still kind of how to call it? Sorry, I'm not focusing at all.
Okay.
It's still like a mid range kind of thing.
Yep.
You just try to attack with Poe Carrier,
Yep.
flip white well, those do all those shenanigans. But like the thing is like, sometimes that's just not gonna work, because for example, like they just have a low hand size in general, so like what hand to discard, there's nothing to discard, right?
Exactly.
Or like or you just cannot flip anymore because overcount and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Or even you just can't smack symbols because they use Blizzard YLT. Things like that.
Yep.
So like let's say actually comes in really helpful in this situation. Like the way I would say is like, if you want to deal with like control deck, then you play Poke Carrier. You try to smack with Poke Carrier and just like keep smacking them. Just hit them as early as you can, because control deck can't really take on early attacks. But if you're against aggro decks, then Reset is your best card, because obviously the effects are, if you increase the opposing hand size to 5 or more, then like you burn 1 life.
Yeah.
Don't forget that Fremir's contrast skill is not limited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like, and then so the way you do it is, basically, Ice Princess, at least in like the most common list, have like the 3 most important armor anyway. Red, purple, and green. Green coming from the Clara, which obviously is a 1 copy. So if you move with core charge, well, good luck.
Yep.
But like well, in general, you have that option anyway, which is like the main point. So like I realized this combo when I was facing against a Ninja Gale, actually. And then like so they use Blizzard War LT, and then also or even like in general, they have like a really wide board, because that's what Ninja Gale is. If they can't attack you, they just spam their field, so you can attack into them.
Yep.
That's how they play. So you need either the Grandstone to flip it and then that becomes unblockable, or you need Light Brand, which is where Lesser comes in play. Because obviously, if you have Clara, then everything has green armor, so they literally cannot deal with it, because as far as I know, Ninja Gale doesn't have any cannot be prevented effects.
Yep.
Or even if they do, it's gonna be like a really rare one. And so but like what's even more annoying is that like Ninja Gale somehow gets white armor from that freaking white clever machine car. I think it's like red, purple, white or something like that. I actually don't know. I can't remember. It's like red, white, and like one other color, which is like ridiculous. It's like why the heck? Why the heck does like spam that gets armor? It's crazy. But it's like and to be fair, if they get armor at that point, you can't need Glaphila as well, but also like in general, if you can't get past the defense, the way you do it is like you just swing with something to get into a flash timing, and you keep using contrast skill to bounce them. And you bounce to 5 or more. Okay, yeah, burn one, burn one, burn one, burn one, and you just win.
True.
Yeah, that's kind of how I won some of the games, and then like also just because of that, we've concluded that like even with the new rule change, which obviously we'll get to that later, you would argue that okay, Agathia is like balanced now, right? Well, not with Resa around. Because like if Agathia is unlimited, then like Ice Princess literally only have one play at this point, which is go to 2 counters, manifest Resa, swing, activate Agathia, now bounce 5 times, burn 5, win.
Word. Damn.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Agathia is not coming out with the ban list, mate.
I mean, like, all time you need to do all of your stuff like for one turn. If you give it like 1, I guess that's kind of fine. If you give it 3, then yeah, it's going to be too much regardless.
Yeah, yes, but like, yeah, that's kind of like how Ice Princess plays now, which you know what, fair enough.
Yep. Damn.
And it's like definitely some interesting addition. Like I feel like the Ultra Manifest is really like, I mean, to be fair, if you ask me, is it really needed? I don't even think so. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, you need it for the lore.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm playing like a 2-off right now, but
yeah,
like arguably you might even be able to go down to 1 or even like none. I suppose it really depends on like how you build it, but yeah.
I think like it's a maximum of 2.
Yep. Max of 2. Definitely not like 3. No.
Yep. It's too heavy. Like if I need to go to like 3 Framia, I'll try to put like a Yetika inside. Just give myself some more option to whack my opponent like with big damage early.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, like, I feel like the strength of like the previous Framia, the extra like the previous conclusive Framia is kind of like okay. It's like if your opponent has like lots of things, they try to aggro you, then you can basically just use it against them, and you can basically just go aggressive and whack their whole field clean while also wiping their as many of their life as possible. So like it's really good offensively, and then now you are given the Ultra Manifest, which is a little bit of a more of like okay, you try to whack, you failed, and then now what? Like that's always the question, right? So like this is basically just okay. So this is a plan B kind of thing in a way. So the Ultra Manifest is kind of like okay, so you recover some resource by returning your soul core, and also you have the chance to kind of like refill your hand and draw your defensive to connect it to the next turn. But also kind of like just to make it a little bit that is kind of like a very niche case, right? In which you will need that, in which why they kind of like balance it. Okay, so now if you summon it, then you get like a free backstep negate as well. Like even if you summon it like from with other ways, it wouldn't be a waste at least. Which make it like more versatile than, let's say, Yatika. But yeah, more than 2, then it's going to be like a way to overkill. Like at that point, you might as well bring either Yatika or Frisium at that point.
Yeah. True.
Oh well, but yeah, as Ayumu has mentioned, it's we are getting into this tangent because it will kind of make sense with the next thing that the first major changes, which is the unification of standby states. So what does that even mean, Ayumu? That sounds like, as someone who did not have an English major, that sounds kind of like a string of words that politicians would say, and I did not. I will need you to clarify it for me. Like talk to me as if I'm 5 years old.
I mean, the best part is I was the one who chose to use that word, Lamau.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, it might be worth for the people on YouTube just like put a screenshot up, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe if it just like share the screen,
Yeah.
that also works. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like, if you cannot follow my words, you can also just read them. That's fine. But like obviously, so we gotta explain standby state first, really, because like I mean, I'm gonna assume like there's still gonna be a lot of people who's like didn't really understand what standby state is in the first place, which is like fine, don't blame you, it's fucking battle spirits. But like basically, standby state, as it says here, is a state where cards like spirits and necessors can enter it when they remove from the field. You know, whether it's by you or by the opponent. You know, but the biggest problem, I mean, that's very easy to understand, right? Okay, you know, when they would be removed from the field, you just kind of keep them on there. You activate all the other trigger effects. You know, for example, you know, say your spirit got destroyed, and it has a when destroyed effect. You keep that spirit on the field first, resolve its when destroyed effect, and then you send it to the trash. So like you know, this standby state exists because you know it just to avoid like complications really. And also, to be fair, it was introduced in the first place to more like avoiding some loops. Because before standby state, there used to be, I can't remember the exact name. It was like Kinkoku and like Ginkoku or like whatever. So like it's like a golden fox and a silver fox. The golden fox can summon the silver fox from trash, and the silver fox can summon the golden fox from trash. Both of them are one summon effects.
I see.
Yeah, so what happened? I mean, actually, no, this is more like an example. No one actually abused this, but like you know, this is just like an example of like how you can use the loop. It's like before standby state. So like, say you summon golden fox, then you summon silver fox. When you're summoning silver fox, you use all the cost on golden fox, and then like it gets sent to trash immediately. And then you activate the summon effect of silver fox to summon golden fox back from the trash. And then you deplete silver fox completely, so that goes to the trash immediately, and then activate golden fox summon effect, summon silver fox from the trash, etc., etc. You know, so like you can, if standby state doesn't exist, so like if standby state exists, which obviously it does now, what happens is like when you summon golden fox, and then you're depleting the silver fox on the field to summon the golden fox, the silver fox will stay on the field as a card. Well, actually, what am I saying? You know, as a spirit, but you know, the physical card stays on the field until golden fox resolves the summon effect, and then silver fox gets sent to trash. The biggest the biggest abuse to this ruling before standby state existed was actually Necro Blight, which is why it's limited to one right now, and then it still is because, to be fair, the effect is still kind of broken, even with standby state. But the main way people use Necro Blight is with Shikijuru.
Okay.
So Necro Blight has the flash effect of summoning a cost 3 or less spirit or ultimate from the trash without paying the cost. I mean, you don't really have a lot of like good ultimate targets, so it's usually just spirits. And just to clarify, it's purple cost 3 or less spirits, so not just any cost 3 or less.
Okay.
Or else it would actually be really broken.
Yeah.
But yeah. So before standby state, what it means is like, say like you attack with Shikijuru last turn, and now it's the opponent's turn to attack. What you can do is that you can use Necro Blight and then use all the costs on Shikijuru, which you know depletes it. So it gets sent to the trash immediately, and then you activate the flash effect of Necro Blight, and then summon Shikijuru back from the trash. So basically, you're paying 2 costs for like a free blocker, and obviously with Shiki summon effect, you get to draw 1 as well. So like this was like basically how people kind of like abuse like kind of like the magic card, and also obviously like the lack of solid rules, in this. Um, and so it's mainly because of that, like, to be fair, because like also the other thing is like, Shiki was part of like the purple speed deck, which at that time was like very prominent. I mean, to be fair, it's like one of the top meta decks for like 2 years at least. So yeah. Yep. So yeah, so that's why like something has to be done with that. But like, it's like, but like as I said, this like just like one of the problems. But like just in general, because of these kind of stuff, like standby state was introduced. Right. So that explains why standby state exists. Now we're gonna explain what standby this state used to be. So obviously, the new thing here, we call it a unification of standby states. And that's because depending on how you're removing the card, the rules are fucking different.
Exactly.
So the difference is between if you so basically the standby state for destruction is different to the rest of the removals. So if it's depletion, return to handle deck, send to the remove zone, or banish, they're all the same rules. But destruction is different to the rest. Why? No one knows. It's probably like part of like when you're converting when you were making the new rules. So like standby state was introduced back in Burning Soul. But like when you were making the new rules, you can't just change everything basically. So like, and then so like, cause like if you change some of these rules, then like it's gonna be like it's gonna ruin like some of the card effects completely, making a lot of cards useless because of like the new rules, stuff like that. It happens a few times in Battle Spirits, and it can happen in other games as well. That's what happens in general when you change the rules. So like that was probably the reason why like they kind of were forced to like apply different rules to like kind of like destruction to like the rest of the removals. So in general, before the changes, well, before the current change, as I used to say, when when you're removing a spirit that's not by destruction, so that spirit cannot be referenced anymore by other effects. So for example, let's say you summon King Taurus by depleting one of your spirits on the field. So King Taurus has a summon effect which says for each of your spirits, gain a call.
Yes.
You cannot count the depleted spirit because it's in standby state. You cannot reference it. You also cannot target. So you can also any effects that's not related to the standby state, you cannot target the spirit. So for example, again, when what was what would be a good example? Let me think. Like let's say like Carinair, like the Artemis card or DS45, when you deplete it, it can activate its own effect because its effect specifically states that like it activates when leaving the field. So that's related to the depletion. So you can activate it. But if it's like I mean, to be fair, I don't really know of like any other any other thing that can like relate to Carinera. Give me a good machine beast. I actually don't know one.
Yeah. I mean, like
No,
previously.
I kind of got cut there. Yeah.
Previously, you would usually summon the Griffin Axe with it, I guess.
Yeah, no, but like but like basically so. But like say if there's like another effect, if there's like a derivative effect that says like bounce a spirit, then you cannot target Carinea because Carinea is in depleted state, and unless the bounce effect activates when Carinea leaves the field, it cannot target Carinea because that bounce effect is unrelated to Carinea being depleted, like something like that.
Okay.
So like that's kind of like how most of the standby state works. Destruction standby state is somehow different.
Yes.
You can reference it, you can target it with other effects. So like say for example, you got blue world and purple world on your field.
Okay.
The opponent reduces your life. You flip blue world, destroy one of the spirit, and because an opposing spirit is destroyed, you can now flip purple world, and then you can also remove call from the destroyed spirit. And then like that's like the kind of the main difference. And it's like everyone's like, huh?
Exactly.
It's like why is this a thing? Like we don't know. But like yeah, so like that's kind of like the case. So now basically, Bandai just said, okay, fine. Everything should be like acting the same way now. So as I put here, this is what they listed. So while the following explanations only mention spirits, the same rules would apply to ultimates and necesses. Because like in general, standby state only affects summoned or deployed cards on the field. So that means it applies to spirits, ultimates, and necesses only.
Yes.
Brace also yes, but they're kind of different. We'll get to that later.
Yep.
Obviously not magic cards because yeah, there are magic cards on the field, but there's really no point keeping them in standby state.
Yes.
So the first point is when the spirit on the field would be removed, whether it's by being destroyed, depleted, or returned to hand or deck, it remains on the field in standby state until all derivative effects has resolved. Which is like kind of what I said earlier, basically. Then, if the removal is destruction or depletion, the card is sent to the trash, and that's basically just part of the rules. If it's other kinds of removal, it is sent to the area the removal effect mentions. So, for example, if the effect says return it to hand, then obviously it goes to hand. After the standby state, if it goes back to the deck, then it goes back to the deck. If it's banished, then it's removed to outside the game.
Yeah.
So we will have some examples later, so don't worry if it still sounds very confusing. And then so when the standby because it is, yeah. So when the standby state when the standby stage is over, aka when you resolve all the derivative effects. So when the physical card is actually leaving the field, then the costs on it are sent to the reserve. Easy enough to understand. That should be like kind of like the basic rules anyway. When a card leaves the field, all the costs on it just naturally gets sent to the reserve, unless there are other effects that say no, go to somewhere else.
Yep.
So okay, right. So this is one that changed from previous one, but I'm not gonna get to like the old rules. Let's just say the new rules. So when a spirit enters standby state, any effect that has already applied to it before standby state remains applied during standby state. So for example, let's say you're playing the Dio deck, which obviously the Dionysus has the effect, -1 level cost to all your nether spirits.
Yes.
Yep. So let's say you have let's say you have like one Dio on the field and you got a Maduke with 2 cores. Maduke needs 3 cores to be at level 2. So right now Maduke is at level 2 because of Dio. When you destroy Maduke, Dio's effect will continue to apply on Maduke. So Maduke will stays in standby state as level 2. So like any other effects, when they see Maduke in standby state, they will treat her as level 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it means. Like, obviously, again, there will be examples later, and then which you can probably see on the screen. To be fair, But also, for depletion standby state, when the standby state is resolved, it still treats the spirit as the same level as before it enters standby state. So we had two examples. So the first one, while being affected by an effect which states during this turn a spirit gets 3000 BP. When a 7000 BP spirit enters standby state, because the plus 3000 still remains, it stays at 7000 when it's in standby state. You got like the second example, which is when a level 2 spirit has all its costs removed at once, it is treated as being depleted from level 2. So if it has any effects that activate when leaving the field, only at level 2 you can still activate that. So something like that.
I see.
Yep. And then also, as previously mentioned, a spirit in standby state can still be referenced by other effects, and its symbols can be used for calculating cost reduction. And also, using King Tourist as an example, even like say you got 6 spirits on the field and then you deplete all of them to summon King Tourist, you can still ramp 7 calls because you've got King Tourist and the 6 depleted spirits.
Yay.
Yep. So like something like that. Yeah. Obviously this would also apply to something like summon condition on ultimates. So a depleted spirit or ultimate can still fulfill the summon condition for an ultimate. Probably the most relevant examples is any card in Jafar. Because obviously in Jafar, for example, you got a card like which actually can't remember his name, but it's like the successor of like Miser. Sapa, there we go.
Yeah.
So Sapa summons itself from hand when your Jafar gets removed. Unfortunately, Sapa has the summon condition where you have to control one or more Jafar, including being in soul state or pre-effort condition. So previously, when Jafar is being destroyed, you can still summon Sapa because with all the weird rules, somehow when you're being destroyed, you can still reference it. So that's fine. When Jafar gets depleted or get bounced to hand or something like that, you cannot summon Sapa because Jafar cannot be referenced. But now because all the standby states have unified, and it says that like when they're in standby states, you can still reference them. It means you can summon Sapa whenever, like, no matter what way Jafar is being removed.
Basically, I've been playing with the new role from like 2 years ago. Well, I guess yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's like it's one of the more niche rules, but like if you realize why there are less and less Sapa in the list, this is probably one of the reasons why.
I see. Yeah. And by the way, before I forgot again, so basically if the screen is too small, then later I'll try to somehow link this Discord message to you guys, so you guys can check it out yourself with your own screen, in the comfort of your own screen. Well, I take my words back. I'll try to make it bigger for you guys. Hopefully it's big enough. If it's still not big enough, again, just let us know in the comments or by emailing us. I will try to make this thing available to you guys. Don't know how, but I will try.
So you can just copy and paste everything onto like a Google Doc or something.
Oh yeah, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, now that you mentioned it, I'll probably try to open a wiki page for that. But we'll see. Yep. Anyway, so this is like another new rule. Actually, when a spirit enters standby state, if it has a constant effect active before enter standby state, that constant effect remains active during standby state.
Okay.
Unless the spirit is affected by cannot activate effects. So when I say constant effects, I don't just mean like those with only the level conditions. For example, small things has like the level 1, 2, or 3, every opposing spirit gets minus 1000.
Yep.
obviously that's like one constant effects that like people are probably familiar with, but like another kind of constant effects can also be something like just during either attack step, or like during your main step, so like as long as an effect that's be already active, and it's like a constant effect.
Okay.
Something that you don't need to declare, that's a constant effect. Um, I'm trying to think if there's. I mean, to be fair, there is like an example for like either attack step, but like it's kind of like a niche one. Okay, yeah, okay. Let's say that. So let's say we got a card with the effect says, level 1 and 2 either attack step, all your purple spirit cards in trash are being treated as cost 0.
Okay.
That's still a constant effect. Because it's an effect that you don't have to declare, and it all automatically turns on when you enter attack step. So like those are what we call constant effects. But it can only activate additional effects that directly related to the occurrence of entering standby state. Such as effects with the timing when destroyed, when depleted, when leaving the field, stuff like that. And then, as I mentioned before, right now, the spirit in standby state cannot be targeted by effects unless that effect is related to the spirit leaving the field. So we have 5 examples here. So let's have a look.
Yay!
So the first example, which is probably one of the most major ones, during the opposing turn when the opponent uses Buster Spear to destroy your Frozen Volcano and then draw a card. Because Frozen Volcano is currently in destruction standby state, it can't activate effects unrelated to its own destruction, which means the opponent doesn't need to discard a card from their hand. Because, obviously with Volcano, the effect, when the effect to discard a card from the hand isn't triggered because Volcano is being destroyed. It's triggered because the opponent is drawing.
Yes.
So, even though the destruction and the draw is from the same effect, your opponent doesn't have to discard a hand because that effect is not directly triggered by the destruction.
Nice.
Yep. So example 2, this one I'm a little bit confused, but like if you guys want more explanation, I can try to figure it out next time, I guess. But since so there are effects that state when the opposing spirit is destroyed, for example, like Burning Soul Dragon 10, the rebirth condition, something like that. So because that effect is related to the destruction, you can activate even if 2 battling spirits are destroyed simultaneously through BP comparison due to having the same BP. Yeah.
Okay.
So like I suppose the way I see it is like, I think so like the way I see it is because when the opposing spirit is destroyed, this is caused by your spirit attacking into it. So basically, so the way you can think about it is like your spirit's destruction is more like a byproduct, but like that that BP clash is what caused the opposing spirit to destroy, but like it just so happens that in the same time causes your spirit to get destroyed as well. And then so you can activate the effect, and which is why they kind of treat it as being related to the destruction, because you're destroying their spirit by destroying your own. If that makes sense. I think this reasoning is a little bit convoluted, but like I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
But like yeah. So like that's example 2. So example 3. We got a card called Death Harpy. So what it does is like it has a summon effect which says you can destroy one of your own spirits. When you've done so, the opponent chooses a spirit they have and destroy it. So if you use the summon effect and then choose Death Harpy itself, because the rest of the effect is directly triggered by the destruction of Death Harpy, you can continue to activate it. You can continue to resolve the effect.
I see.
Yeah. So, this works with the wording when this effect destroys. This also works with the wording, when you've done so, etc., etc. So basically, as long as the effect kind of had to depends on you destroying something, even if you destroy the card that's activated the effect, you can continue to activate the rest. Yeah, and then so example 4, you got a lot. So recently, I mean, not really recently. It's almost like 2 years ago. To be fair, I'm getting old. But like obviously, we got like we got a cycle of contrast spirits where like they increase their own cost, for each counter you have. Those are constant effects.
Okay.
So even while in standby state, the cost increase remains until the standby state is over. And then also example 5, which I'm sure some people would be really glad to hear.
This is
We
for
have
you, Alice.
Kamen Rider. Yeah, we have Kamen Rider Gotcha Steam Hopper. So previously, as I mentioned, when a spirit is depleted, or bounce to hand, or like just like whatever that's not related to destruction, their effects stop activating. So in the case of Steam Hopper, what it means is that if you deplete it, for example, all of its effects stops activating. Which that includes shutting down the effects. The level 1 cost of your Kemi Brace becomes 0.
Yo.
So that means all your Kemi Brace that has 0 cost will get depleted immediately because the effect is gone for that one moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, because all the constant effects stays active when when the spirits are in any kind of standby state, your Kemi Brace will survive unless you just decide to send Gotcha to trash for whatever reason.
That is the happy ending.
Yep, that is the happy ending. So these are like a few examples. Hopefully that's enough to explain that part of the rule. So let's move on to some more.
Yay.
There are cases where a spirit in standby state will change to another kind of standby state due to derivative effects. When this happens, derivative effects triggered due to the previous standby state will fail to activate, but new derivative effects can be triggered due to entering a new standby state. So this is actually an old rule. They're just clarifying it here. But obviously, so there is like a second paragraph. So spirits in returned, which like we colloquially call it bounce standby state, but basically, when you return the spirit to hand or deck, send it to remove zone, or even banishing them, we just call it like the bounce standby state. So basically, spirits in this standby state cannot be affected by derivative effects that send them to a different area. Even if they're depleted while resolving derivative effects, they're not sent to the trash, but continue to be returned to hand or deck. This rule also applies to banished spirits. So again, let's look at some examples. Example 1, when the opponent destroys your contrast spirit, and while in standby state, say for example, you summon Archer Gundam. And then you remove all the cores from your contrast spirit to summon Archer Gundam. At this point, the contrast spirit would be considered depleted by you, and so they cannot enter soul state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still listening?
Yeah. So example 2, when a spirit is being summoned through the Digivolution, even though the spirit that is activating the Digivolution keyword is being depleted, it still gets sent back to hand. Because like the first effect that removes it from the field already specifies that it's going to hand at the end. So you cannot change where it goes, unless it's like an effect. Unless it's like an interruptive effect that says no, it goes to somewhere else. But like in general, if it's like just like other kinds of effects that leads it to changing a different standby state, it still goes back to hand because that's what the first effect has said. That's the way you can think about it.
Okay.
Right. So the last point, which is about Braves. So Braves are a little bit special, but it's not too complicated. I think it's still quite easy to understand. So Braves can also go into standby state, but it kind of like have like it might have like a few complicated rules. But so there are moments where only the brave is in standby state. For example, you use double blaster to destroy only the brave on like brave spirit. So when that happens, the color, the cost, the BP plus, the number of symbols, and any during brave effect given to the brave spirit will be nullified.
Okay.
So for example, you got a red spirit brave to a blue brave with like a blue symbol. So when you destroy the brave, then the red spirit is no longer considered blue. Is no longer considered having a blue symbol. Is no longer considering the BP plus from the brave or the cost being added to the spirit. Or any dream brave effects. We'll get some examples later. Don't worry. So like, however, when a brave, however, it is the other way around. When the spirit that is being braved enters standby state, the brave will still stays brave to the spirit. All effects, all the elements, what I just mentioned, the color cost BP plus number symbols during brave effects will still stay on the spirit.
Okay.
The brave will also stay braved to the spirit, even if somehow the removal effects will kind of unfulfill the brave condition. We have like exactly an example later on, so don't worry. But let's look at example 1 first, which is a great buff for the divas. Yippee!
Yay! And it's my
So we
favorite one too. One of my favorites.
Yes.
Sorry.
cannot be biased to your wives.
Exactly.
But like yes, we got Academy uniform Diana Fleur, which has a one summon effect which says destroy an opposing brave, then destroy an opposing 7,000 BP or less spirit. So with the rules now, when Diana destroy a brave that gives 5,000 BP to an originally 5,000 BP spirit, at this point the brave is destroyed, right? So all the information that it gives to the spirits are gone. So even though it's technically kind of the same summon effect, Diana can move on to destroying the 5,000 BP spirit. Because it's two destruction timings, and because Diana destroys the brave first, it removes all the information from the spirit. So the spirit then becomes a fatal target for Diana to destroy.
Yippee.
When this happens, even if the brave has a during brave when destroyed effect, that effect doesn't activate. Because as I said, all the effects that the brave has applied to the spirit, are gone, are being negated. Yeah. So we got the second example, which is about gut, the ego partner.
Nice.
So let's say we have 4 costs, not 4 costs. We have 4 counters right now. So gut plus 4 costs to itself with its own constant effect, as we just mentioned, and it's brave to a cost-free brave with the brave condition cost 6 or more.
Yep.
So when gut gets destroyed by an effect that also states effects of the destroyed spirit cannot activate. Even though obviously because like gut's constant effect is also being negated right now, it doesn't get plus 4 cost, so it stays at cost 2. As I just mentioned, the cost-free brave requires the spirit to be cost 6 or more. But it doesn't matter here when it's in standby state, because the brave was braved to gut, they just stay braved during the standby state. And then again, the color, the cost, the BP plus the symbols, and any during brave effects remains applied to gut. And then also during this standby state, gut will be treated as cost 5 because gut himself, is cost 2, the brave is cost 3, and because they still stay braved during standby state, it's treated as cost 5. Something like that. But that's kind of like the end of the explanation for standby state. It's a lot to digest, but like hopefully you guys just like keep playing the game, and eventually you understand.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, it did take me a while to actually kind of figure out everything as well. Even I would get confused with some things, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's battle spirits. I mean, at least now they're actually making things a bit easier.
Exactly. And as we say in Indonesia, if to avoid getting lost, just ask.
Yeah.
As long as you don't ask too much, then we'll make sure that you are lost with our own two hands. No, just kidding. I mean, like, again, like, if you guys still need anything clarified, the comment section, our email is always open. So just let us know. Maybe we can talk a little bit further about that. These documents are still available in the Reiwa server, and yeah, Ayumu is planning to make it available in the wiki as well. Kind of like, I mean, like, now we do have like the rule manual, like the updated rule manual in the official site in English and also in the wiki. But yeah, I mean, like, if you just wanted to a summary of like what is being changed, then yeah, Ayumu is going to make it available later, so you can maybe read it at your own pace, and yeah, maybe just understand it slow. Just read it first, and then when you play, it will be more intuitive, because like as I said before, like even from 3 years ago when Javad came out, I didn't even notice that the standby state for like the cards being bounced and depleted is different. That's why I've been putting Magna Zappa inside my deck, and I just use it normally as if like it is destroyed, as if it's being destroyed normally. Yeah. Don't worry, take your time. We, like, none of us are like official judges. Like, even official judges isn't always going to be correct. Judges are there mostly to help kind of like make sure that the game state progress as much as possible. Of course, they make effort to kind of like be as up to date with the ruling as possible, but even then, the game when as far as 18 years, like, no, like, I guess like it's easy to kind of like get lost into like, okay, so which is which. And again, the ruling update has been updated. The ruling has been updated 17 times. Even for me, who I started the game like pretty late compared to Ayumu, I've went through from version 9 to 17. So like the game has changed like 8 times from the span in which I started to play the game until now. So yeah, don't and again, if you are a complete beginner and you think this is too much, we do have the standard format. You can start from there, and then once you get like the feeling and all the essentials to play Battle Spirits, then you can start to kind of like get into this eternal rulings, and then yeah, you can also move on to eternal decks as well. Then you can be the true dual wielder. Yeah. So speaking of dual wielding, now we have the Soul Core as well. The Soul Core being updated. And
yep. So I doubt a lot of people actually knew this, but before, I mean, to be fair, it still is right now, because like the rule changes to like the 10th of April. But before the 10th of April, Soul Core is actually optional to be included in the game.
What the? I just knew that.
There you go.
Exactly. When I read this rule update, I was like, what do you mean it is now mandatory? It has always been there.
But no, it's never been mandatory. It's just it's optional. But they just make decks that encourages you to use the Soul Core.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So as of, well, we say as of now, but it's more like obviously as of the new update at like the 10th of April, Soul Core will be mandatory for the preparation of a game. So when you're starting the game, please ready 3 normal cores and 1 Soul Core in the reserve.
Yes.
But here's the bigger change. So for effects which move the Soul Core, like the catalyze keyword, in the past, it was ruled that if moving the Soul Core would deplete the spirit activating the effect would just fail to activate. Why? Game balance issues, basically.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't really contradict anything, which is the whole reason why they change it now. But like, yeah, so like now you can just activate the effect, even it would deplete the spirit. But however, if activating the effect would deplete or level down the spirit, causing the effect to shut down. Then any effect after they move the so-called effect, such as those that start with the clause when you've done so, or after your burst activates would fail to activate.
Okay.
So best example I have is the original Zulu, which actually only have catalyzed from level 2.
Okay.
So if I send the soul call from Zulu to trash, activate soul burst, then because Zulu is now at level 1, I cannot activate the rest of the effects, which state after the burst result activates during this battle, something like that. The spirit cannot be blocked by opposing spirit with cost equal or less than her. So because she's level down, then after the burst activates, I cannot activate the rest of the effects. So that is like that has been a rule, and that part hasn't changed. So that's really for the soul call, which is like a really big upgrade for a lot of things in general, really. Okay, and then now, thank God they changed this, but like next one, the timing of declaring a burst.
Yeah.
So just to explain first, because I'm sure a lot of people actually don't know about this. Declaring a burst, activating the burst, and then resolving the burst effects are 3 separate different timings. So declare the burst is when you obviously tell the opponent that you have a burst you want to activate, and then you flip it up. That's declaring the burst. Activating the burst is, when the burst effect can actually resolve. And then obviously you got resolving the burst effects.
Yep.
So like, activating the burst and resolving burst effects are kind of like very similar timing, but in some very niche cases, they can make a difference, for being different timings. But yeah, let's not deal with that for now. So in the past, the timing to declare a burst is actually not specific.
Yep.
So so for example, when you so let's say your burst condition is after an opposing spirit attacks. In the past, you can declare the burst starting from when the opponent declares the attack up until before the first flash timing. So that makes things a lot more complicated, really. Because like as we like to describe in Chinese, it's just a battle of seeing who talks quicker, basically.
Yes.
Especially with Spitzer Dragon being around. So in the past, we had this really funny interaction that you can have. So I say, the opposing field has Anti-Rest Lost Sword.
Okay.
With only 1 call on it. So like the opposing field and reserve only has a total 1 call to use, and that's on Anti-Rest. For those who don't know, Anti-Rest can rebirth on attack, which then Reborn effect gains 3 calls. You have a burst.
Yep.
You have one shooter being set down, which has the burst condition after an opposing spirit attacks. So this interaction can happen. Your opponent declares attack with Anti-Rest, and before they declare rebirth, you tell them that you have a burst to activate.
Okay.
At this point, because they only have 1 call, they cannot activate Spitzer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that can happen. But like okay, so like but obviously another case that can happen is you talk a bit too slow. So your opponents decide to rebirth Anti-Rest first, gain 3 calls with the Reborn effect, and then you declare Worm Shooter. At this point, they have enough calls to summon Spitzer, and then your burst just gets discarded. So these are the 2 situations that can happen, which is why we say it's battle who talks faster.
Exactly.
Now, Bandai tells you, nope, you only have 1 timing to declare the burst. And to be fair, it's pretty clear cut when as well.
Yep.
So it is the same timing as declaring effects triggered from hand. But what I mean by that is, so for example, you got Burst War Revival in hand, and then you also have a burst, like let's just say Yamato XV or something like that being set down. Your life has been reduced by the opponent. When you declare Burst War Revival from hand, that's also the timing where you have to declare Yamato from the burst. If you start resolving any kind of effects, by that point you cannot declare Yamato anymore. So like that's kind of like the biggest change. So then like obviously, some people may ask, okay, so when do I activate the burst effect then? That one still has to change. You still resolve the burst effects after all derivative effects have resolved. So again, say for example, you got Yamato set, and then you have a few things from hand. You got Burst Roll Revival, you got a Throne Prison LT, you got an Arcade Gundam in hand as well. And just add on to it, you got a Blue Well to flip on the field as well. So when your life is being reduced, you have to you don't really have to declare Blue World because it's on the field already, but you have to declare Burst Roll Revival, Throne Prison LT, and Arcade Gundam as well. And then if you want to activate the burst, then you also have to declare Yamato at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, but then okay, so now the opponent knows you have got Yamato to activate. Still, you resolve Burst Roll Revival first, and then, well, I mean, obviously the order depends on like the turn player, but but basically you have to resolve Burst War Revival, Throne Prison LT, Arcade Gundam, and then also Blue World. And then after that, you can activate Yamato. So that's kind of like the case. So we're gonna answer example here as well. So let's have a look. And this is pretty interesting as well. And I'm sure not a lot of people actually am aware of this interaction as well. So like this example is also using a pretty niche ruling that you don't see very often. But to be fair, it might happen a lot more often now just because Yamato exists.
Yeah.
Because like obviously Yamato activates when your life or the opposing life is reduced. Well, we'll get to that. Let's look at the example first. So let's say both battling spirits are destroyed by BP comparison due to having the same BP. And then both players also have the burst with condition when your spirit is destroyed by the opponent. So first, the non-turn player has to declare any trigger effects from their hand. So that's the usual rule. Like it's always the non-turn player or the defending player, has to declare all the effects first before the turn player does so. So because of this new rule, if they have the burst to activate as well, they also declare at this timing. So when this happens, if the other player has Spisser, then that one get resolved right now. So let's say we're done with all these. So after the non-turn player has declared everything, and even let's say like the other player activate summon Spisser and then discard the burst. And after that, the turn player then declares their trigger effects from hand, and then also at the same time declaring any burst activation if they want to activate it. So this is the interesting part. This is one of the older rulings that you won't see very often. So when multiple burst activations are declared, the resolution of burst starts with whichever is being declared first. So in this case, because the non-turn player has to declare their burst first, then their burst resolves first. So this is an order by the game rule. So the turn player can decide the order of resolving burst effects. So that's one example. Example 2. Let's say the non-turn player has a burst with the condition after your life is reduced. So let's say Yamato. And then they also have Monifariel in hand, which has the effect when it's being in hand, when your life is reduced, you can just activate the burst. So, their life is reduced and they want to declare both burst activation. So again, they declare both of the bursts simultaneous to any effects triggered from hand. For example, summoning Arcade Gundam, declaring burst war revival, etc., etc. I mean, obviously, we say simultaneous, but obviously, you can't really blurt out everything in one timing because that's physically impossible.
Yes.
So like you still say things one by one anyway. For example, you say, okay, I have Yamato and then Monifarel, and then also I got Burst War, and then I also have Arca Gundam, etc., etc. So that's what you do. So at this point, whatever you mentioned in terms of the order of the effects from hand, that doesn't matter because they still get decided by turn player anyway. Declaring the burst though, that does matter. So if you said I want to activate Monifarel, then Yamato, then you have to do it in that order. If you said I want to activate Yamato and Monifarel, then you have to do Yamato first. Just to keep that in mind.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's for the burst.
Yeah. Let that sink in for a while. But yeah, I feel like this is one of the changes that is that made like kind of the ruling way more intuitive in a way. Like the like the standby state thing, it can be a little bit harder to kind of like swallow. Well, not swallow, to kind of like take in, because like because like it feels like you have a lot, but it's also because like you previously have like multiple standby states and they have their own roles. Now it's kind of like just okay, we're going to simplify this, so you kind of have to deconstruct first like what you already know. So maybe if you are not familiar with the standby state, that can be a little bit easier to understand. But for players who probably have already established kind of like understanding of what the standby state, each standby state do, then you kind of have to kind of like deconstruct what you already know, and then like okay, so now everything is like the same. This is what's going to happen. But like I feel like this the burst like the burst rolling update is mostly what we kind of like already know. But like okay, now it's way more intuitive, kind of like because like the case with like when you activate like two bursts at like the same time, it's kind of like it's already happening like previously, especially since I play yellow and I'm not a yellow main, but like I play mostly yellow, and of course I have a lot of experience with Monifile, and it's always okay, like how do I resolve this? And just intuitively I just remember that whichever is declared first, it's the one that is being activated. But like previously you can activate it just whenever. Now you only have like one timing, so the moment you like, for example, when the spirit attacks, then the moment your opponent declares an attack before any effect activates, then you kind of have to activate the declare your burst and all standby that you have. So I think that's way more easier to understand. So yeah, I really appreciate this change in particular. Finally, a big Bandai W for once.
True. But like so that's part about burst. So that's really the most complicated parts that we got through. So that, to go through some of the simpler ones, you got block icons.
Yay.
So I mean, to be fair, block icons, I doubt most people who are listening to this actually kind of know what it is. But basically, let's try to bring up a card image. Hey, I got Magna Sapper in front of me. Let's do that one then.
Magna Sapper, okay. Let's see what cards I have in my folder that I can load quickly. Why are they all PSS? Okay, I have this good image of my waifu. Oh.
Okay. I mean, you can use a waifu if you want, I guess.
Yeah, I can use my waifu. So yeah. Like
so at the bottom right, you can see how the bottom right of the card to specify.
Yep.
Obviously, we got the set code, which is BSC 43-045. On the left, you got M, which means master rare, the rarity of the card, and then on the left, you see like a blue diamond with 11 written on it. So the diamond is a block icon. So whenever Battle Switch enters a new year, the block icon also gets its numbered increased by 1. So basically, after the 10th of April, for this year, any card that's being released in the Eternal format will be block icon 13. But that's for Eternal.
Yes.
So in Standard, they will use a different block icon instead, which is using the English alphabet. So because this is the first year of Standard, obviously they start with A. So that's kind of like the main difference there.
Yep.
So they're just clarifying that if a card with the same card number is reprinted, then the number on the block icon will be updated to reflect the latest version. That wasn't the case all the time previously.
Yep.
Obviously, you got the reprint set where, like, obviously the block icon gets updated because that's the whole point of reprint. But for example, if a card get reprinted in waiver set, if they get reprinted in premium Bandai, most of the time their block icons don't get renewed. But like, to be fair, most of the time it doesn't really matter. Like, block icon limited battles don't usually happen very often.
Yeah.
What's happened more often is a main set card being reprinted in a collaboration set. Now that's very important. So if it's like a main set card, then it's a blue diamond. If it's a collaboration set card, then it's an orange diamond. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
So if an Eternal card is reprinted in Standard, then it will be treated as having both a numerical block icon and an English alphabetic block icon. What does that mean? We don't really know. Maybe it has two block icons. I mean, at that point, we'll have to see. If they mention this, obviously they probably have some plans in mind. So when we get to that point, we'll just explain anything further, really.
Yes.
And then obviously, just like a general rule, because collaboration card has their own color for block icon. So basically, if you want to play collaboration, you can only use cards with the orange block icon. You cannot mix the blue ones. So so unfortunately, you still cannot use Blizzard War LT in collaboration format until they reprint one in a collaboration set.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
That's for block icon.
And also,
next one.
And it also means that if you use the Percival Revival, you have to use the one that is printed in collaboration still, isn't it?
Yep.
Like you can't use your normal art Percival Revival. You have to use either the one of the many Ultraman or Gundam ones, I guess.
True.
Yep.
You know what's actually really funny? Like, because of this limitation, but then like obviously was it? Just now they had like a new format, which is like Collaboration Extreme Edition.
Oh yeah.
Which is basically like decks. You can only use decks. Cards from like the same series, including reprint cards.
Yeah.
So, for example, Kneel Down Everyone was never reprinted for Kamen Riders, but it was reprinted for Gundam.
Yes.
So you can use Kneel Down Everyone in a Gundam deck in the Extreme Edition format, but you cannot use it in like what do you call it?
Yeah.
Kamen Rider deck. Yeah. That's fine. That's just one example, but like the biggest sufferer is Digimon decks.
Exactly.
Because obviously they got that collaboration ended before anything good actually. Well, I say anything good. It's more like anything recent has happened.
Yep.
So they don't even have Burst Roll Revival.
I don't think they even have Percival.
They have Burst Roll. Yeah, it was reprinted. In Digimon. They have the original Blizzard Wall.
They have Diamond Wall, the original one.
The original Diamond Wall, which doesn't work for Dukemon because Dukemon used Soul Core.
Oh no!
Oh my god! Yeah, but stuff like that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I think that's the ultimate kicker, right? Like Digimon, you will not get future updates. You don't get like the nice stuff. But like the moment they needed an example for the effect, like like the standby state effect, like this example could have been done with on stage, but they have to specifically, like Ayumu used Digivolution because exactly like the Japanese document specifies the keyword Shinka, which means evolution, which is the Japanese version to say Digivolution, and they specifically uses Digivolution for this example, even though just after that they do use Diana Floor, which means they could have used on stage or any other effects for that matter that works similarly to Digivolution, but they have to use Digivolution, but they refuse to bring back Digimon collaboration into the game because
all right,
okay, well, but anyway. But I'm just ranting at this point, so yeah. So sorry, Digimon players, but I guess if you wanted to play Digimon, just don't play in Collaboration Extreme. Just play in normal Collaboration format. You get access to Agumon Pawn of Courage, Gabumon Pawn of Friendship, and Dyukmon. That's probably like the three strongest cards in Digimon Collab kind of thing. Or just play Omegamon Turbo. That also works.
I don't think that really works, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like if your opponent, if you don't have any defense card, just kill your opponent on turn 2. It will work, probably. Don't quote me on that. I play Aikatsu, okay, so I play one shot. I don't know what is the world where you have to win on turn 2 in collab.
Trust me, they are like that. More like that, or it's more like that's the pinnacle of Battle Spirits, but we'll get to that later. Not time today,
Exactly.
but anyway, so moving on to the next point, we got activation timings in standard format. So in standard format, timings are shortened. Obviously, if you've been using the wiki, you might not have noticed the difference. But basically, in the eternal formats, the timings are actually worded something as when this spirit attacks. I mean, obviously on wiki we just shorten it to when attacks, but the original text still has been using when this spirit attacks, when this spirit is summoned, when this spirit is destroyed, etc., etc. In the standard format, they shortened it, so it just becomes the same as like the wiki translation, which is just when summoned, when attacks, when destroyed, blah blah blah. But if you play these cards in the eternal format, then the game will still treat these timings as the full length, which is like when the spirit is summoned, when the spirit attacks, etc., stuff like that. But one thing to be aware of is that in the standard format, we have a new timing called during attack. And do not confuse that with when attacks. So if you've been playing Battle Spirit Saga, during attack is basically the timing while attacks. So it's a timing where effects becomes active automatically when you declare an attack, and then it ends when you end the attack.
Yes.
That is different to when the spirit attacks. So just keep that in mind. And then we have like a really simple example here, which is like the blue holy relic, which has the effect. No spirits can activate summon effects. So that can also negate one summon effects of standard spirits. Because like obviously the effects of blue holy relics specifically states neither spirits can activate when this spirit is summoned effects, but in standard it gets shorted to when summoned effects. And they're treated the same, so they will also get negated. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we got some miscellaneous changes.
Yay. We have the smaller ones.
Yep.
Yep.
So the text formats that has been using in the eternal format will not align with the standard format. So like whatever wording that the standard format is using, the eternal format will not follow that. So, but obviously changes to rulings and wordings of existing effects will be made. So going forward, as usual, just like a general declaration, and the cards that were printed will be amended in accordance with these rules. And rulings will be aligned with the latest description of the card. And then we have like okay, so basically, what kind of changes are they talking about? The first one is attribute specific effects. What the fuck are they? Basically, the effects in white font and black background. For example, crush,
Yes.
curse, clash. I don't know why I said all the C words, but you get what I mean. On stage, digital illusion. Yep, they are all originally called attribute specific effects.
It's your inner British talking, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking Tom. Anyway, so all these attribute specific effects are now called keywords. Which kind of goes along with how the stand format is being called keywords. So previously there was a rule where attribute specific effects cannot stack. So for example, you got Rock Golem, which has crush, and you Brave Theoretical Arms, which also has crush during Brave. So previously you cannot stack the two crush. Now you can.
Yay.
So go create riots, blue players.
Yeah. I mean, like even the pro players have been playing this with this idea of this card that has great crush, and then it can give great crush to all specific spirits, in which it itself is that specific spirit. So you basically have two great crush activating at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when people have realized the rule update, they already start like testing with like the most stupid effects I've ever seen. But yeah. So like just like randomly some cards got like updated, stuff like that. Yeah. But like so then like obviously you got something like assault, which these keywords have a specific numbers attached to it sometimes, right? So let's say you have a spirit with assault 2, and you brave to Maelstrom, which has assault 1 during braved.
Okay.
They do not combine into assault 3, but rather they are treated as two separate effects, assault 1 and assault 2. So when you attack and activate assault, please specify which one you're activating, because it will matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like by that I mean, for example, you attack, you activate your assault, and during flash timing, the opponent decides to separate your brave. So if you didn't specify, your opponent can just argue, yeah, you use the assault on your spirit, not on the brave, so now you just lose one time to do that. That kind of things can happen. So like just to keep that in mind.
Yep.
So the next point, any effect that describes drawing will be shorting from draw a card from your deck to just draw one. So if the card is drawn from the bottom of the deck, then the text will be written as draw one from bottom. If the effect makes the opponent draw, then the text will be written as the opponent draws one. Now, if the effect is worded as draw 3, then discard 2 from hand, presumably when strong draw gets reprinted, it is assumed that you are drawing from your own deck and discarding from your own hand. Even with the text, quote unquote, your deck absent, if an effect states draw 1, you cannot draw from the opposing deck. I don't know why the fuck you would do that, but yes, just to clarify.
Yes. I know that otherwise, if they don't specify that, then you can just I'm going to bring back.
I mean, some players are going to try to abuse that. Yeah,
I'm going to bring back Mega 4. I'm just going to activate. I'm going to activate flame field. So red field, and then I'm going to draw 2 from your deck. I'm going to activate lava draw 3 from your deck. Well, it's not lava draw, but yeah, you got my point. I activate promise draw 3 from your deck. Yay. The return of hand typhoon, but better. Because now I can use the cards still. And imagine, wow, I'm playing against the done the done astral deity, and then like casually I just like use strong draw 3 from my opponent's deck. I drew convenient like 3 promise draw. You just draw 9. Just draw 12 cards from their deck, and then okay. Oh no, you don't have cards in your deck anymore. And my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yep, just keep that in mind.
Exactly.
Right. And then the other thing is, previously levels were printed as, level 1, level 2, level 3.
Mm-mm.
Now it's being shortened as level 1, 2, 3,
Mm-mm.
something like that.
Yep.
This is then, and then again to clarify, this is not a change of rules.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what people are gonna think about that, but like, yeah, it's not a change of rules. Don't try to abuse anything.
Yes.
Similarly, banishing effects will be they were previously worded as banish from the game. Now it's just shortened simply as banish.
Yeah.
Again, this is not a change of rules.
Yes.
And then the next one is actually an interesting one, and I'm very glad they clarified that because like this has been like an inference from the Q&As, more than being like an clearly stated rule. So like it's good that they actually mention it now. So constant effects which are active without any specification of conditions or areas of activation. What you mean by that is like, for example,
Maucho. What was it again? For Diamond
the new.
Wall.
You mean the new one?
The Diamond Wall revival.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, Diamond Wall Revival, for example, the effect where it says, when your life would be reduced by the opponent, discard this card from your hand, and your life get reduced 1 less. That is not a constant effect. That's a triggered effect.
Yep.
Even though it doesn't really have any level specifications, but like the way you can think about it is it's an effect that requires you to declare it vocally.
Yes.
That would be considered triggered effect. What is a constant effect with conditions? For example, any effects that has a level indication. For example, again, small things. The constant -1k on the opposing field. That's a constant effect with a condition because it has a level condition. Or for example, you have a Hades disaster. Which says while this card is in the trash, you can use it. That is like a so Hades disaster. I mean, let's not complicate things. Let's just say Hades disaster. That effect is a constant effect. Because it allows you at all times to use the card from the trash. Obviously, most of the time you declare it during flash timing, but because of the constant effect, it allows you, for example, if there's an effect that says, if that's like an on attack effect that says use a flash effect for magic card, then you can use Hades Disaster from the trash as well, something like that. So that's a constant effect with an area of activation because that only activates, or more like that constant effect only becomes active in the trash. So those are examples of constant effects with specification of conditions or areas of activation. Let's give another example. Burst Roll Revival. When it's in the hand, it's affected by opposing effects. The condition is it has to be in the hand. So yeah.
Yep.
So what does it mean by constant effects without conditions or areas of activation? For example, this card /spirit gains the something something family. Or this card of spirit is treated as something something. The most recent example we got is Mauchu 10, which literally just got like a few days ago. Which has the constant effect that says this card /spirit is treated as a devotee family. Imaginate.
Yep.
Yeah. So like that's a constant effect without specification or conditions or areas of activation. Cause like it doesn't matter if it's in the hand, if it's on the field, if it's in the trash, or even in the deck. That effect. I mean, actually no, not in the deck because effects don't activate in the deck until you reveal it. But anyway, yeah, on the field, in the hand, in the trash, this effect is always active.
Mm-mm.
You know, it doesn't matter where they are.
Mm-mm.
So like this is the example, like this is the kind of constant effect that we're talking about here.
Mm-mm.
You know, obviously you've got other examples, you know, for example, the symbols and reduction symbols of this card slash spirit are also treated as something, something, something.
Mm-mm.
You know, like, you know, the Galatian cards back in God Athens era,
Mm-mm.
stuff like that. So these effects cannot be negated by effects cannot activate effects.
Mm-mm.
You know, so for example, right, you got you know, let's bring back the big baddie Sequem Altanova, you
Yes.
know,
Okay.
which says you know, let's say they target cost 2, right?
Mm-mm.
You got Mao 10 on the field.
Mm-mm.
Mao would not lose the devotee family or the imaginary name because
Mm-mm.
that cannot be negated.
Yep.
Yep. And they still cannot be negated even if the effect cannot be prevented.
Mm-mm.
So just to keep that in mind.
Yep.
So obviously the same applies to constant effects which specify discard slash nesses.
Mm-mm.
You know, obviously ultimate graves as well, you know,
Mm-mm.
stuff like that. Obviously we have, so one of these kind of constant effects is, you know, this card slash spirit cannot be returned to hand or deck or switch places from the field, trash, or remove zone by either place effects.
Mm-mm.
What do we have? Queen Flawless.
Yeah.
Rakabija.
Rakavija, yeah.
I remember the name.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Spitzer. You know,
Spitzer Dragon.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, so that is also one of the examples. So this might be a bit harder to understand. It took me like 5 minutes to actually get it.
Mm-hmm.
But so while the effect itself cannot be negated, if there's a return to hand or deck effect that cannot be prevented, then these spirits can be returned to hand or deck even with that effect.
Mm-mm.
So the way you can think about it is when you're negating an effect,
Mm-mm.
you're trying to remove it.
Mm-mm.
They're telling you, okay, by the rules, this effect cannot be removed.
Mm-mm.
But your effect, so the effect you're activating now is return a spirit to hand. It cannot be prevented. It's not removing the effect from the card. It's ignoring the effect.
Mm-mm.
So that's why you can still, for example, return spirit to hand
Mm-mm.
because it's not removing the anti-bounce effect. It's
Mm-mm.
just ignoring it.
I see.
Yeah, so like that's kind of the way to see it.
Mm-mm.
And then last but not least, following the standard format, the hierarchy of priority and effects is as follows. So cannot overrides unless, which overrides mandatory slash optional effects.
Mm-mm.
What it means by that, and what it means by that is like, for example, let's say the opponent has a pilot brave.
Mm-mm.
You know, it says, so obviously pilot braves cannot attack or block.
Mm-mm. Okay.
You know, that would override a target attack effect.
Mm-mm.
You know, because the pilot brave cannot block,
Mm-mm.
so you can't just force it to block.
Okay.
Or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what example can do between cannot and unless. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's say the ultra contract happens for ref. You
Mm-mm.
know, the gold
Oh,
card.
yeah.
You know, which obviously has the on attack effect. You know, unless the opponent mills 10 from their deck, they burn 2 lives to trash.
Mm-mm.
But the opponent has Gardenia Field,
Mm-mm.
which obviously said you can only reduce at most 1 life. Actually, maybe the better example is, let's say they have what cannot be reduced by effects? Sure, we'll just go with Gardenia Field. You know, so I mean, let's just say they already reduced 1 by effect that turn, so Gardenia Field is preventing the player from being reduced even more lives with effects.
Mm-mm.
You know, so in this case, ref's effects is using the wording unless.
Mm-mm.
Because Gardenia Field just tell them, no, you cannot reduce your life any further.
Mm-mm.
So even if the player doesn't mill 10, they don't have to burn 2.
Mm-mm.
And also, on the other hand, they don't have to mill 10 for the fact that they cannot burn 2. So that's what it means by cannot being a higher priority than unless.
Okay.
One last thing is there are no hierarchy between mandatory and optional effects. And that's
Yeah, that's pretty intuitive actually. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So these are all the changes in the 17.0 rule update.
Yeah. Wow. You guys need time to take in, pause the podcast for a little bit, get some drinks, take a deep breath. Don't forget to exhale after that because otherwise you'll get various chemical poisoning inside your lungs because that's how our lungs work. You basically take in oxygen and then you needed to exhale all the bad stuff, and you needed more oxygen to do that. So like you needed to breathe normally afterwards. Yeah. But yeah, so this weekend is definitely going to be a very interesting one. Not only with the start of standard, but also the version 17 for Eternal as well. So yeah, lots of interesting changes are going to come. And yeah, we're basically literally in a new age of battle spirits now. And yeah, I mean, I was like on the edge of my seat for the most part, but I mean, yellow is safe now, so we are not worried about that anymore. Yeah, yellow is safe. But yeah, I have to wait until 26 RBS02. But yeah, I will wait. I'm going to play with Grandpa until then.
You're gonna play what?
You know, the second extra from the starter deck, the dragon that looks like the what's like his lower peak is white, so it looks like he has a beard. That guy, the one that is like actually also like he's pretty cracked. Because like basically the thing you bring him out, you can basically minus 8,000 to any one spirit, which is kind of nice. Yeah, Thunder Dragon looks interesting so far. Hopefully it pans out.
Yeah, I actually talking about that. Actually did try some standard gameplay today.
No,
It was really fun. I
yeah.
actually really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried the purple one, obviously, and tried the green one, the yellow one, and then also the blue one. I think so far out of the 6 standard decks, the yellow one is actually the weakest one because it's lacking a lot of draws. I mean, to be fair, all 6 decks are lacking draws anyway, so like all of them are really slow decks. But particularly with yellow is because they lacking draws, but they don't have the speed like green. But also they cannot really remove spirits as easily as purple does. So, so even for purple, just for the starter deck anyway, obviously that can change when the booster set actually comes out. But you know, the problem with the starter deck is that like purple can remove things quite easily, but you need 2 specific cards. You know, like I mean what I mean is like currently there's only one magic card that can strip something down to 1 core. And then basically actually not even one of the X-rares, like literally only the cost 9 X-rare can remove something with the soul core. So like if you want to do some big removals, that's literally the only way to do it. Or you know, or else, you know, otherwise you'll have to basically just depends on like the most basic BP comparison, bait them into attacking or blocking, and then add 2,000 from your magic effects, stuff like that. I mean, obviously, you also have Soul Bite, which removes any 2 calls, which is why it's a soul magic. But yeah, um, So like yeah, so the problem with purple is that it needs like some specific cards, but it can basically remove anything in the game if you have the right combination. Yellow is different though. Like the problem with yellow is that like basically at least for the starter deck, except for the X-ray, literally every minus BP effect is just minus 2000. So obviously theoretically they can remove anything and everything, but like if the opposing spirit has really high BP, you will need a lot of cards to actually do that.
Yeah.
And like that's like the biggest problem with like the yellow starter deck. But I suppose that's part of the gameplay and that's part of the trade-off. You know, it just had to preserve your resources really well and then just like do the right thing at the right time. But it's just the fact that like yellow potentially would need a lot of cards to actually try to remove one thing or even try to play the game. It's like why I would like put it as like the lowest ranking out of the 6 starter decks.
Yeah, that checks out.
I haven't tried red or white yet, but like in my theory, out of the 6 decks, so my ranking would be like green would be the best one. Because like it has its own filter, especially with like the utmost depth. Emerald Sea, Emerald Abyss, Emerald Abyss, which can allows you to filter one card every turn. It's also limited to once per turn per copy. So if you have 3, you can do it 3 times per turn, which is not hard as well because the effect just needs you to use the soul core in the main step. So just like move your soul core around. So that's literally basically no cost. And then obviously they have like literally the best draw effect in standard right now, hand mode.
Oh yeah,
Which is basically hand with us, but basically better.
in every way.
Because not discarding your card, you're returning them to the bottom.
Yeah.
But like it's actually really good. And even just like the short test today, we decided that like, you know what? Yeah, it's going in white and blue as well, and probably purple as well. Like,
yeah,
that one is interesting.
I would
Maybe
still
in
play
yellow as
yellow.
well, but like the problem with yellow is like it's very core tight as well.
Yeah.
Which also one of the reason why it's so low in the ranking, because like or a lot of the cards you want to play, like they need a lot of cost to actually do something. They're like very high cost, is what I'm saying. Right, yeah. So like so the top one is green. The next one I mean I haven't really played it yet, but I'll say red. Because it still has like a really big range of destruction. And the only deck that it might actually struggle with is white. Because white, so like basically with the starter decks, red can destroy up to 10k BP spirits. White can't go over that. So if they're facing white, then they can't really do much. Unless they just try to end the game quickly, which I mean to be fair, they can, but it can be a struggle. But even then, it technically blue has something that's over 10k as well, but like they're like pretty late game. And also if they're not careful and they level down their stuff, then you can also like use that chance to destroy them. So it's not too big a pro. So that basically means except for white, really, red can deal with the 4 other decks in like among the 6 starter decks. So I think it's pretty high in ranking. Like it is a little bit conditional, as I said, because if you manage to get higher than that, then red cannot deal with it. Which is why it's slightly lower than green, where green is just like unga bunga wins. Literally, yeah. So like green, red, and then the next one I would say is purple. Because as I said, purple has the choice to remove anything and everything in the game. The problem is just that you need the right combination. And it's still very much a combo deck, a control deck as well. So so the way it works is that you literally just grind your opponents until they run out of resources and then you smack them. I've tested today. I mean, obviously, it might just be because my friend doesn't really know how to use the white deck as well. But I basically outrun the white deck pretty much every time. It's cutting really close. Like I'll be down to 1 life, and if I don't do anything this turn, I'll just die next turn. But like overall, like it can still deal with white decks. Like it's even slower and more control than white, which is insane to say that, but yeah. Yep, and then below that is the white deck. So white deck has really good BP in terms of defense. Pretty good attack tempo as well, because a lot of effects allows you to withstand your spirits after they attack. So, it means like you can just smack with them and then just end step withstand something with like 10k, 11k, something like that. Which makes it really good. But like obviously it can be really slow, which is why it might lose to green and also red. And then, most of the time it will also get outrun by purple in terms of resources. Mainly because immunity still doesn't exist among the 6 starter decks yet. So they literally can only defend. Yeah. So basically, purple has as I said, purple has the limitation where most effects cannot remove the soul core. So the way white defends against purple is either you keep the soul core on the most important spirit. If it's like against other decks, then just keep them at really high BP. That's kind of like how it works. To be fair, purple and white, their position can probably interchange, but I would still put it lower than green and red. And then the next one is blue. So blue is definitely an interesting one. It is very much so it's a tempo deck, but it's a slow tempo deck. Because like from what I learned is that they require you to build up your necesses, and then like if you need like to summon the smaller spirits to block, do it. But like the optimal gameplay is literally put down your necesses, have enough reduction, summon the cost 8 X rare. That's literally how you play. And then just smack with the X rare.
Yep.
Especially with the free necesses, you can withstand them. You can withstand it. So like you just like go into attack step, stuff 4 calls on the spirit, go into attack step, swing. If they want to block, they need to exhaust 2. If not, just take 1. And then main step 2, move the 3 calls onto necesses, and step refresh it. Refresh it, keep the soul core on it, becomes a 12k blocker. And that's kind of like the optimal way to play blue. And then you just kind of drag the game a little bit. Just keep attacking a little bit by little bit. If you need to summon the smaller spirits, go ahead. But eventually, what you want to do is like you get the cost 8 out. You also get the cost 10 elephant out. So blue is dangerous in that if you drag the game too long, they can kill you when you're at 3 lives. So like basically kind of the game ending margin is very high for blue. The highest one is still green, because green can also kill you when you have 3 lives. Red maybe, again I haven't tested it yet, so I wouldn't be sure. Purple maybe when you have 2 lives. But like that, even that's stretching a little bit. White definitely, white most of the time cannot kill you suddenly. Like you would know it's coming.
Yep.
So like they gradually reduce your life, especially with the turtle, which costs 7 or less cannot block it. They gradually reduce your life, so like at one point you would know like once the next turn, you would actually lose the game. But like for blue, the range is 3 lives. So when you're at 3 lives, you're already in a danger zone. Oh yeah, a lethal range. That's how they describe it. Yeah, lethal range. Because like so basically what I've done today is like, so my opponents have 3 lives. They have the turtle and then also the other X rare, which is the cost 9 golem kind of thing. Both of them are very high BP, right? So the way I did it is I swing with the dinosaur first with the cost 8 blue X rare, which obviously because it's which obviously says if they want to block they need to exhaust another spirit. So I swing, use Sturm Lance as a magic card, destroy their turtle, so they only have 1 spirit left. So then they have to take 1. Then I attack with the elephant at level 2, which basically reduces 2 lives. Now, which basically has 2 symbols. So they're forced to block.
Yep.
And that's literally how I clear the board. Oh, you summoned the cost 8 and cost line last turn? Well, now they're gone. with like a free card combo.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it was really hard to set up, but like nonetheless, this is kind of like game state that you want to go for.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, like it was actually really interesting. I like it. Like
Mm-mm.
and then obviously the lowest in ranking is the yellow deck because that's a little bit too high cost for what it wants to do, and then it's just like lacking the draws as well. It has some pretty decent combo,
Mm-mm.
but like sometimes they may not be very effective.
Mm-mm.
Like the Nessus, it has surprisingly more useful than you would think. Like
Mm-mm.
so, like there's like the volcano Nessus kind of thing,
Mm-mm.
where like the level 1 effect is like when your Thunder Dragon attacks opposing 1000 BP or less spirits cannot block,
Mm-mm.
which can quite often in the early game,
Mm-mm.
which can happen quite often in the early game. My English starting blur Lamau.
Lemon.
Because like you do have a lot of Thunder Dragon, which on attack at minus 2k.
Mm-mm.
And then in early game, most of the time they only have something like 3000 or like 4000.
Mm-mm.
It's like if it's 3000, perfect. They
Mm-mm.
cannot block. If it's 4000, that's still fine.
Mm-mm.
Because Volcano has a level 2 effect, which needs 3 cores, but it's still really useful, which says start with your main step. If you have an exhausted spirit, minus 2000 on the opposing spirits.
Yippee!
Yep. That's kind of like the main combo that you want to go for in yellow.
Yep.
But like it's, as I said, it's very core demanding because you
Mm-mm.
need 3 cores on the volcano, and then the smallest spirit that
Mm-mm.
can minus 2k on attack is a cost 4, and it also needs the so-called for true release.
Mm-mm.
So like even though let's say you put down the volcano in like the previous turn, like next turn you will still need at least 7 cores to actually do that.
Mm-mm.
Which makes it pretty difficult to set up really.
Mm-mm.
So like yeah, that's kind of the problem with yellow right now. But like nonetheless, I mean that's just like initial testing. Maybe someone goes really well with yellow, who knows? But like yeah.
And it's not going to be me, and I will be very bitter about it.
Lamau.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll just attack that guy after that. Yes, that's the reality of playing trading card game in 2026, isn't it? No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I will still attempt to build it myself, but yeah. I guess yeah, at the very least, I guess like you did give me a little bit of a more realistic expectation now that of like how much I will need to consider and when building the deck. But just I mean like yellow has always been the deck that in which you will need like 5 cards to do the same thing that I don't know, my god, why do I like in a tangent, like because like there's this one shorts creator, right? His whole premise is basically to achieve 80% of like what the quality of a high effort mill with 20% of the effort, right? I feel like sometimes like the modern red in Battle Spirit is kind of like that, so it can pretty much like achieve like 80% of like what yellow can do, but like with the fifth of the resource that you need to do it in yellow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I guess that has always been my reality when playing Battle Spirits. Yeah, I am at least glad that will still be my reality even when playing standard. Yeah. But yeah. I will probably be getting my stuff soon as well. Yeah, wink wink. Hopefully then, wink wink. I'll try to finish the standard video first. It is not really how to play video, but it's more like kind of like the changes that will be coming in standard format. So basically that's just a summary of all of that, minus the rule update for today, because today is mostly for Eternal. Yeah. So do look forward to that as well. And yeah, next week I guess we'll get the whole list for the set for the booster pack as well. Maybe if Ayumu whip me enough, maybe we'll get the initial decklist episode just like last time with PS76, and hopefully this time we'll have the time to actually test them in 2 to 3 weeks instead of 6 weeks like last time.
Yep. To be fair, as promised, I did test Chaos and Mitra, but due to circumstances, I should have shared it like 2 weeks ago, but obviously I couldn't.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Join for personal reasons. So and then like today, I mean, to be fair, recently we have a lot of news, so like we still haven't got to that point yet. But like if you guys are still interested, we'll try to
we can share
I
it.
try to get my my ideas shared about Chaos and Mitra.
Exactly.
At one point, yeah.
Maybe it's time to bring back Ayumu's PSM winner. Who knows?
I mean, I wish, but I'm really busy.
Unfortunately, yeah.
May like my business right now kind of requires me to make Pokemon videos. So no, if I even have time to make any videos, it'll be on Pokemon, unfortunately. So
okay, one day.
Yeah. Just like a fun Ayumu real life fact. Yes, I'm in a business right now, so
exactly.
I'm still not earning money, but I'm at least not unemployed.
Yeah, at the very least. Yeah, I mean, like, I was like, I was almost fell into the trap of like, should I get this Vanguard deck just because I really like the care? And then I was like, I remember over triggered access, and probably I shouldn't.
Just don't.
Yeah. Also,
I mean,
to
be fair, you say that I did get the Mygo deck and Ave Mujika.
Yeah.
I haven't actually built Ave Mujika yet. Like I got the cards, I just can't be asked to build it right now.
Yeah,
because
I think
like I'm not seeing my Vanguard friends anytime soon anyway. So
yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can do some videos just to blow off the steam. I mean, like, this used to be a Vanguard channel, so I guess that kind of works.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, although like now my problem is now Vanguard is kind of like a game that quote unquote kind of like rewards you for keep on playing, because like some staples, once they are gone from the market, they are gone from the market. So like it can be pretty challenging to make some niche decks, because like, okay, so this deck has a can really benefit from having this one staple that every other deck also uses. So like, how much do I need to spend for the whole deck? Okay, so for the course, maybe I'll need to spend $50-$80, and then like, how much do I need to spend for this playset of this card that I really need? It's also $80. Which, to be fair, I feel like sometimes when I try to get into other card games, I feel like I've been really spoiled by the Japanese game market, the Japanese games as well, because like if you really just wanted to play the game, usually you can get them for like really affordable amount. But like because like mostly they make stuff specifically for the deck that you want to play. So even if the deck is really good, because the cards are usable only in your decks, like really rarely cards like Yamato came out, so like there's not really that much card that in Bellspear that will cost you an arm and a leg. So basically, for the cost of one Yamato, I can pretty much make all the decks from BS75. So like that's the kind of trade-off that you can kind of have like when you play Japanese games. But when you play like Western games, usually cards are designed to be more versatile. Like then there's this gap of like expectation that of how much a card will cost, because like, okay, now this one card will have like way more demand because it is way more versatile. It can be used in 60% of the decks in the that is currently viable. So like, okay, so now it's not going to be as cheap, because like the demand is definitely going to be higher, but it's kind of like just an expectation gap. And then now there's Vanguard, which is like perfectly in the middle, and which like it is a card game in which like most of the cards are made for certain decks. So those cards are not really that expensive. But then it will have like one or two cards that is like very versatile and can be used in other decks. And also Vanguard is in a pretty weird position because it is a very popular game, but not the print is not that high to the point in which like every single card is available. Like so like which makes it like if you don't get them like on day one, then it can be pretty challenging when you wanted to like get into Vanguard. But yeah, in the end, Vanguard is also a vibe game. It kind of depends on who you play with, which is I think like why like back then I was like I really enjoy like making all the time Vanguard, because it's kind of like I think like I actually like enjoyed like making the episodes less when I try to make it more into like, okay, so like we'll just play with within the studio and just use like whatever text that I have. And when I stopped touching grass. It's like when I first started that series, basically I just went to random card shops and then like just play with guys that I barely know. But like, okay, it's like we met like 1 to 2 times. I know that I vibe with this guy, but I'm not that deep into knowing this guy. And then like through like playing the games, like I don't just like play a game of Vanguard, but I kind of know them a little bit better. But of course, like eventually that's also kind of hard to do, because now I kind of meet all these guys all the time. And yeah, like the discovery is not there anymore. So yeah, I guess that's also why it's when I moved to Battle Spirit, it's also a good time to kind of like not continue with that series, I guess. But yeah, maybe now that I'm more comfortable with like doing it in house and like doing it with friends that I already know, and then like focus less into like actually like making it kind of like sound like me discovering friends, and more into like, okay, so like what can this deck do? Yeah, maybe we can go into that direction. Just because I'm really obsessed with this one lyrical monastery card. Don't know why. I just look at her once and then like, oh, she's so pretty.
It's time for printer rare.
Yeah. Also, like, you know what? The other thing is, I didn't really read into the card. I just really like the art, and then like is the deck even viable? And then I look for like gameplay videos, and then like, this is just my old deck, but with girls. like her gameplay is like literally just Lambros, so which is my the deck that brought me to the worlds basically. Like I was like, is this my calling to actually go back to Vanguard? Maybe not, but yeah, that's for another day. For when we finally comfortable with the standard format, and yeah, when Pharah finally comes out and I can finally play white again. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, comments, or requests, do feel free to send it to us to our email at therefreshsteppodcast@gmail.com, or if you are listening to this on YouTube, do feel free to comment down below. So yeah, I guess yeah, my kitchen is gone now. I just woke up one day and it's just gone. Someone like rooted everything, all the cabinets, the oven, the washing machine, my sink, everything's gone. Okay. Just to clarify, nobody stole it. Although like it's really normal in Germany for kitchen to come with no kitchen stuff. So like, because it's like they kind of like normalize that kitchen is something that is very personal to you. So you should be able to design your own kitchen for some reason, although you are still bound by the fact that you don't know which apartment you are getting. So like you can't really tell like which kitchen will fit in which apartment. So you're still limited with that. But like for some reason they normalize the concept of like, okay, so like if you want a kitchen, then you kind of have to buy your own kitchen, and then when you move out of that apartment, you have to bring the kitchen with you, or you sell it, or like basically you need to be the one that get rid of it. You can't really live it unless you can kind of like work out a deal with like the next tenant or something. Then like even then it's kind of like, yeah, it's still something that you need to make an effort by yourself. But luckily, I live in a shared apartment, so like my landlord is doing all that for me, and they are planning to renovate the kitchen. That is why they are taking it apart. And yeah, now I have to wait until they buy a new kitchen and install them back there, so then I can finally have access to clean water and everything again. Yeah. That's the side story. So yeah, I guess that has been everything that we can share for this week. We hope that you guys have a nice week going forward, and we'll see you all in the next turn. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Now how do I cook? How do I feed myself?